would have been aware of the 250,000 plus. They have the capability, I think, to remove that in real time. Some cables have to come out about Israel being a nasty piece of crap, for discrimination, for racism. This new story I posted this morning on the infounderground.com. They're opening up 4 new schools for kids, 2 of them for Jews and 2 of them for foreign kids. That's segregation, racism, in your face. The municipality of Jerusalem voted that, and we have all these idiot moronic people that go to Israel or go to Jerusalem and as Christian Zionists supporting this horrible state, and this goes on. And then you read this, Joe. Last week we were talking about the BSD movement, and we went on about support of Gaza and whatever, and the stories are out there, and we're going on about the Palestinian state in front of the UN, and the story this morning, Ireland are debating it, and their official line is, well, we can't say yes because we haven't seen the words of the text. Everything seems to be ball playing for Israel. We always seem to be negotiating with them in the end, even if we think, it was Blair or it was Bush or it was Obama. Like for the new one with Obama, Obama, you did this and Obama did that. Obama doesn't really do anything, but he's a good character to put on TV to make him look busy. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. But we're very fortunate to have Matros here today, because he actually has he was just showing me pictures of some Jewish kids in New York City right before they go on their trip to Israel. Matros, you mentioned on my own show, there were a certain number of these children that were known to be working for the Mossad, correct?
No, but I think they come definitely from Israel, and they mix with Russian kids that live here, and maybe that's where the recruitment and starts.
Okay, and
with these social clubs for the Jewish Americans.
Can you go a little bit more into these social clubs? Like, I remember you showed me pictures of kids, Jewish kids in New York holding pictures of little 6-pointed stars. What are the clubs about? I really didn't get it.
They have, they organize, parades, protests. On Friday nights they play cards, and they get, the rabbi comes, visits them, and tells them, whatever. But I think it's mostly like a database of potential recruits, because everything is free there. Free trips, free food, and it's almost like it's stupid for them not to be a member of those clubs. And there's only 1 or 2 major ones. One of them is Enzra USA, which is a couple of blocks away from me. And I had many opportunities to visit them, but I'm not interested in their things.
But do they actually? You're not Jewish, but they still wanted a goy, so they do allow goyim to, come among the Jewish people.
Of course, I have to pay to enter, but I think for them it's free if they're a special member card, member holder or whatever.
What are their views on Palestinians? Do they ever talk shit about Palestinians?
No, I think they just they hate all Arab, descendants, and Palestinians is no different than Iraqi or people from Iran. But the Arabic people over here in New York hate Jews so much they don't even talk about them. That's how much they hate them. They try not to speak their name.
Ooh, man, Ogner, dude, man, that's
Well, these Jewish social clubs, it sounds a bit like, an Irish social club in New York. A couple of boys meeting up for a few drinks and a game of poker on a Friday night. No new news there. I wouldn't consider that any news. I think these clubs that prepare kids to go back to Israel during the summer, the idea is a lot bigger. which is this idea of Jewishism or Israelism, or what is an Israeli, what is a Jew, what is an American Jew, or what is a French Jew, or what is a German Jew, because they come to Israel from all over the world. But the Irish clubs, I don't remember specifically Irish clubs in New York sending people back to Ireland. It was more like the love of Ireland, and I'd make a little difference here with what I've noticed of Irish Americans, whether it's here or in the United States or in New York specifically, because I've been there several times, is Irish Americans are Irish, but they're Americans first. They're Americans first. And it's a question of, when you come to dual nationals, with 9/11 coming up, and we can mention a lot of names, there's a lot of dual citizens there. Thank you very much for that reminder article, Joe, from the ADL. Trying to badmouth our buddies Delaney and Ry Dawson under very good 9/11 films. And the question is, are you a Jewish American, or are you an Israeli first? What's his name down in Chicago there? Rahm Emanuel. I mean, he was worried about the Iraq War in '91. He joined the IDF. So, and he's mayor of a city in the United States, and he went to fight for Israel. He could have went and gone into the U.S. military. There was no question of that. He went and fought for the IDF, got his little cushy little number, so he served. I mean, this guy has been in the works. They've more plans for this guy. You'll see a lot more of this guy in 10 years. He's still young. He's still in his early 50s. A good politician can get up until well into the 70s. So you'll see a lot more of this guy coming.
Oh yeah, that goes on with saying right there. Hey, but Matros,
sorry, Joe, just to finish on the club is sending people back to Israel. I can understand. They're Jews, and they want to learn Hebrew. There's different. Why are you going there? Is it for religious studies, for language studies, and where does the money come from? And that you'll see, it's all internal.
Yeah, that's the point.
It comes back from giving how many tens of billions to Israel every year when we don't know, and all the money, and then it comes back in and sent back out, and this is all normal. That half the politicians in the Congress and the Senate go over to Israel every year, and people feel. Well, I don't think people are saying, shit, that isn't normal. No, that's not normal. Honest Americans waking up and saying, well, that's a bit strange. That's a bit strange. But the media is in the hands of these same people. The banking structure, this little one sect has been special for, I think they're special for several thousand years, and they control it. It's killed in the media. It's watch Britney and listen to Britney and buy her CDs, and if you're not into Britney and music and all that, buy Alex Jones CDs, but don't do anything. Don't do anything.
Man, I gotta ask Matros, consider these Jewish kids. Do they think of themselves as Americans first or Israelis first, especially after they go on these trips? I heard a lot of these Jewish people, when they say after my first trip, my first aliyah to Israel, it completely changed my life. Is that kind of stuff you hear from these kids?
Well, they love to wear the pentagram or whatever, made in gold, and it's almost like an oxymoron with them, that they have to, I think they're Jewish first, and then whatever the second nationality would it be, Russia, Poland, and then America.
Oh, dude. So being American is way low on the totem pole for them.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that's... who exactly pays for these clubs? Is it... I'm going to give a specific name. Tell me if you've ever heard this. Chabad Lubavitch.
It could be, I don't know, but these trips are very
Do you see rabbis wearing these big fedora hats and wearing business suits?
All the time on the subway.
Wagner, that's specifically Chabad right there, dude. Mm-hmm. These are Chabad are that's their uniform, and we all know that Chabad has their tentacles literally around the entire world. I mean, this is wow. I mean, for me, this is kind of amazing information to actually from eyewitness.
Yeah, it's since I live over here in Coney Island, New York, this is, I guess, the center of all this. In New York, every other city doesn't really count, like Boston or Chicago. It's in New York, so That's where it matters.
Yeah, man, you got that right. But Agner, concerning like WikiLeaks, like okay, so we've gotten like a lot of this information. People are like skimming through it. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Joe. Can you just hold on there a sec? Or go ahead talking, Joe. I'm just I'm lining up a new guest.
Okay. I want to say something about WikiLeaks. I'm very distrustful about these WikiLeaks information. Again, like I said, I believe most of it's not disinformation, but rather misinformation. Usually misinformation, you'll have 90% truth, 10% falsehood. In this case, from what I've seen personally of the WikiLeaks information, it seems to me for the important portions, 90% false, or like, I'll just say false. If it's not true, it's basically false. I don't, Ogner, you seem to put a lot more credence to these WikiLeaks. I absolutely do not. I don't trust them. It's just, for me, it's just like damage control. This is like, ooh, yeah, okay, we'll say like it's this, but it's actually really worse than we're actually saying in these cables. And we don't even know if like a lot of these conversations are actually true conversations. Could be completely made up by some writer at the CIA. Matros, have you actually had a chance to see any of these cable leaks?
I took a look at some of them, and right away that I saw there was a lot of useless information, and the thing that I wanted to point out, if the release was known in advance, maybe like 5 years before, they could have easily inserted false information within the system that would have copied all messages, and those fake messages would be somewhere in the pile, and you wouldn't be able to tell if they were real or not. Because it's all text, and it's date stamped.
Exactly. I just had to put in like the right format. That's why I'm not excited about WikiLeaks. Yeah, the only thing I get from it is like like a year of let's just say Eastern European descent. You're familiar with Pravda. Pravda was a complete lying newspaper, but like people still read it. Why? Because then they could like analyze the lies to maybe figure out what the truth was, what they're hiding. That's what I do with WikiLeaks personally, right there, dude.
Yeah, it's just another source of information. Maybe something could be used by like Alex Jones, like like Operation Northwoods. He finds something and then he's gonna talk about it for the next 2 years.
3 years. He's been doing it like since the stupid show began, dude. It's like one of those boring topics. Operation Northwoods. Okay, they preferred false flag attacks. I mean, I live in Scandinavia and Sweden. I can tell you, false flag was Oslo bombing. Norwegian government carried it out. And I know Alex Jones figured that out.
Well, hey, when there's like a drive-by in Harlem, that's not an inside job because there's only